Starting alongside in row number 1, the Iceman, the legend himself, Tim Ice. Medina Mountain Motors, Hal Racing, or Powder Coating, sponsored number 65. Row number 2, the number 0 is George Riddle from Canton, Ohio, and the Riddle Trucking Malkett Racing Engine, sponsored number 0. And last year's point champion, two-time late model champion, Bob Snyder Jr. in the number 17 from Denison, Ohio. And rounding out the field, the number 99 is John Sanquest Jr. from Austintown, Ohio, in the John Sanquest Jr. Motorsports, sponsored number 99. Your fastest qualifier, the number 18 of Brandon Short, electing not to run the heat race here tonight. 8-lap heat race number 1 for the McIntosh Oil Company late models. J-Berg, the youngster, the veteran, the legend, Tim Ice, on the front row. 8 laps, green flag is in the air. Tim Ice a little bit squirrely at the head of the throttle. Cody J-Berg going to have the race lead off of turn number 2. George Riddle to the inside of Ice for second. Riddle up to the second spot. Here comes Sanquest to the inside of Ice for third. Snyder almost lost it on the back straightaway off turn 2. Cody J-Berg continues to lead out front. Riddle looking to the high side. J-Berg, 4 laps in, 4 to go. J-Berg halfway home. Snyder all over the back of Tim Ice for the 4th spot as Sanquest looks for second on Riddle. White flag for Cody J-Berg, Riddle, Sanquest, Ice, and Snyder. Off turn number 4, checkered flag for the code man, Cody J-Berg. George Riddle finishes second, John Sanquest Jr. in third, Tim Ice 4th, and Bob Snyder Jr. rounding out the top 5. Heat race number 1 winner from New Philadelphia, Ohio on the Route 39 Auto Salvage. T&L Mowing, Rick Watson Trucking, sponsored number 22. Put your hands together for the code man, Cody J-Berg. Row number 2, the 69 is Bob the Animal Eichel. The 59 is Burgess White from Columbus, Ohio. And also from Columbus, the 07 of Josh Kemp. Austin Thiel, first time at Midvale Speedway. His dad Jimmy over pitside, former main event competitor. And Mark Enos, veteran of Midvale Speedway, green flag in the air. Thiel will have the race lead on the bottom. Here comes Enos battling on the top side. Good battle into turn number 3. Enos, Thiel, still side by side. Little bit of contact between Enos and Thiel. Enos going to have the race lead. Thiel back to second. Animal in third. Kemp 4th. And Burgess White. Mark Enos, your race leader. Austin Thiel, Bob the Animal Eichel. Bob the Animal Eichel, a bonsai move to take over the second spot. And the Animal spins off at turn number 4. Also got to wish my nephew Chandler Selesky a happy birthday. Enos and Thiel in turn number 4. Green flag in the air. And Enos will have a good run off at turn number 2. He'll take the race lead into 3. White flag for Mark Enos. Off at turn number 4. Heat race number 2 to Mark Enos. Austin Thiel finishes second. Bob the Animal Eichel in third. Burgess White fourth. And Josh Kemp in fifth. So pulling to the line, heat race number 2 winner. From Yurksville, Ohio, in the McInturf Realty, Haynes Electric, John W. Cookson Drivetrain, Swartz Trucking, Parkway Superstores, and APR Plumbing, sponsored number 77. Put your hands together for Mark Enos. Opening night feature winner from Sherrodsville, Ohio, in the Ohio Billings Swan Racing Fabrication, sponsored number 09. Last week's feature winner here in the Van Meter Auto Repair Modifieds for the Firecracker 150. The number 49 is Bob Page, pulling double duty tonight. Yurksville, Ohio driver in the Heron Heating and Cooling, sponsored number 49. Mike Stone will start third in the 331. Carrollton, Ohio, in the Criley Fabricating Esber Beverage, sponsored 331. Then the Rooster, Brandon Bailey, in the 55. Row number 3, the number 66 is Lewis McGrath. The number 38, many times street stock, Detroit Iron and Modified champion Kevin McClintock in the 38. And your fastest qualifier, the number 57, is Braden Swaney, driving the Mike Swaney Memorial, sponsored number 57. Field to get the one to go signal this time around. Getting ready to go green. Page on the top, Cox on the bottom. Bob Page with a good run off at turn number 2. He's going to nose in front. Philip Cox battles back on the bottom through 3 and 4. Lap number 1 to Philip Cox. Brandon Bailey slips up a little bit on the top side. That's going to allow the 331 of Mike Stone to take over third. McClintock kind of boxed in. Rooster takes over the 4th spot. McClintock on the outside of McGrath. Philip Cox, your race leader. Bob Page looking for a way around in that 49. Halfway home, 4 in, 4 to go. and a half to go. Philip Cox holding on out front. Bob Page in second. Stone in third. Rooster fourth. White flag in the air. Final time through 3 and 4. Heat race number 1. Philip Cox. Bob Page finishes second. Mike Stone in third. Brandon Bailey fourth. And Lewis McGrath rounding out the top 5. Pulling into Neck Tuning, Victory Lane. Heat race number 1 of the Van Meter Auto Repair Modifieds. From Sherridsville, Ohio, in the Ohio Billing, Swan Racing Fabrications, Double J Restoration, Finish Line Designs, and New Philadelphia Barbell, sponsor number 09. Put your hands together for Philip Cox. The 99 is Derek Gruhl from Dover, Ohio. The 87 is Zach Leisure from Carrollton. Row number 2. The number 24 is Nick Grubbs. The 338 is Brandon France. The X09 is Wes Ennis. The number 27, the veteran Randy Gray. And the number 29 is Dan Gosser. Field will get the 1 to go signal this time. 8-lap heat race number 2. Derek Gruhl involved in a pretty nasty accident in the feature last week. Got his machine fixed back up over the week. Zach Leisure in the 87, sophomore driver. Getting ready to go green. Looking for chief starter Terry Coletti's green flag. Green is in the air, Gruhl and Leisure. Derek Gruhl on the bottom. Nick Grubbs thought about 3 wide, thought better of it, and here comes Leisure battling back on the top side. Leisure, Gruhl, off of turn number 4. Zach Leisure going to lead lap number 1. Nick Grubbs up to second as Leisure slipped through 1 and 2. Nick Grubbs up to second in the 24. Wes Ennis trying to move up to that 3rd spot. He does. Here comes Randy Gray for 4th. Leisure way up the racetrack. 3 are going to spin into turn number 1. Caution on the speedway for the 29 of Dan Gosser. 3 wide battle into turn number 1, and Gosser got the worst of it as he got down into the grass and spun in turn. Nick Grubbs, former sports stock competitor in the mid-2000s. Getting ready to go green. Gruhl and Grubbs off of turn number 4. 5 to go. Derek Gruhl throws the hip check into turn number 1. Grubbs on the outside. Gruhl on the bottom. Here comes Nick Grubbs powering around the outside in the 24. Him and Gruhl contact in 3 and 4. Grubbs going to hang on to it. He's going to take the race lead. Derek Gruhl, Nick Grubbs contact. Here comes Randy Gray to the inside of Derek Gruhl. Randy Gray, new race leader. And Wes Ennis gets into the 99 at Gruhl. Gruhl spins to the infield, caution. Of Derek Gruhl. Green-white checkered finish, heat race number 2 of the Van Meter Auto Repair Modifieds. Randy Gray, Wes Ennis. Green flag in the air. Randy Gray, your race leader. Here comes Zach Leisure and Goss are way up the racetrack. White flag for Randy Gray. Good battle for second between Ennis and Leisure. Leisure going to move up to the second spot. And off at turn number 4, checkered flag for Randy Gray. Zach Leisure finishes second. Wes Ennis, Brandon France, Derek Gruhl, and the 24 of Nick Grubbs. Pulling to the line from Denison, Ohio in the Trenton Service, sponsored number 27. Put your hands together for Randy Gray. This 27 machine used to be a dirt track car run down at 250 Speedway. Great job by Randy Gray and the team to switch it over and run asphalt here at Midvale Speedway. Randy Gray back in Knack Tuning Victory Lane at Midvale Speedway. Is Colt Locker, and your fastest qualifier, Dennis Wood in the 88, getting ready to go green. 8-lap heat race number 1 for the street stocks. Off turn number 4, it is John Tannerelli in the 67. Honky John in the Grocery Getter 67 out front. Kyle Grove in second. The 118 of Locker moving up inside of Kordiak for the 3rd spot. Locker looking to the inside of Grove for the runner-up spot. Grove looking to the high side. That opens up the bottom for Locker. John Tannerelli wasn't in that car originally to start the night, but that is Honky John in there now. Kyle Grove all over the back of that 67 machine. Grove and Tannerelli, a little bit of contact off of turn number 2. Into 3, Grove still all over the back of the 67. 5 complete, 3 to go. Dennis Wood making a march on the high side. He's up to 4th. Grove going to look to the high side of Tannerelli for the race lead. Going to again open up the bottom for Locker. 2 to go. Grove trying to get there. Here comes Dennis Wood in the 88. White flag for John Tannerelli. Into turn number 3, Tannerelli by a car length. Here comes Colt Locker for second. Tannerelli's going to win heat race number 1. Locker finishes second. Kyle Grove in 3rd. Dennis Wood 4th. Robbie Kordiak 5th. Then Kyle Rector and Kylie Wood. Good heat race for the street stocks. Pulling into Knack Tuning Victory Lane from Yerkesville, Ohio in the Shaw Welding and Repair, Heron Heating and Cooling, Smoker's Paradise, Grocery Getter, sponsored number 67. Put your hands together for Honky John Tannerelli. Is Brandon Donnelly. The 75 is former Sports Stock champion Ron Digg. The number 28 is Frank Boyce. And the number 7 is former street stock champion, two-time champion, Gabe Pringle. So field gets the one to go signal. Ian Porco, Chase Berkey. Couple of youngsters up front. Kenny Feaster Jr., Brandon Donnelly in row 2. Another couple youngsters. Then we move back to the veterans of the 75 of Degg, the 28 of Boyce, and the 7 of Pringle. 8-lap heat race. Number 2 is green. Porco will have the race lead off of turn number 2. Berkey slips up the racetrack, opens up the bottom for Feaster. Berkey slips up even more. 3 wide off of turn number 4. Chase Berkey got way up the racetrack. Brandon Donnelly went 3 wide, and they got together off of turn number 4. Restart. Green flag from Chief Starter Terry Coletti. The youngsters up front, the veterans behind. Green flag in the air. Ian Porco, the grandson of Tom Garbrandt, as the caution comes out. Failed start.
Lights around here, 650. Side by side.
Try it again off of turn number 4. Ian Porco, the grandson of Tom Garbrandt, longtime competitor here at Midvale Speedway in the late models and modifieds. Getting ready to go green, Porco and Feaster. Green flag in the air. Feaster going to have the momentum off of turn number 2 in the high lane. Porco tried to get in there. Feaster jumps out by a half a car length off of turn 4. Kenny Feaster Jr. leads at the line. Kenny Feaster Jr. still not quite clear of Ian Porco. Feaster still hanging on that high lane. Now he slips up. Ian Porco going to take the race lead. Here comes Boyce to the inside. Frank Boyce into the back of the 64 of Porco. Feaster up the racetrack. Boyce now clear to the second spot. Ron Degg to the inside of Feaster. Boyce going to look to the high side. 6 laps complete, 2 to go. Here comes Ron Degg. Degg to the inside of Boyce for second. Into turn number 3, white flag for Ian Porco. Gabe Pringle looking to the inside of Boyce. Boyce going to close the door. Ian Porco going to win his first heat race. Ron Degg finishes second. Boyce in third. Gabe Pringle fourth. And Kenny Feaster Jr. in fifth. The youngster picking up his first career checkered flag in the 64. rookie driver in that number 64. From Uhrichsville, Ohio in the Trenton service. Lightning signs and decals. JT's pressure washing sponsored machine. Put your hands together for the rookie, Ian Porco.
Hey, Zach, you say it's blurry?
Is Chad Squires. The 2T is your fastest qualifier, Barney Gerber. The 95 of Michael Varnes. The 4 of Tim Scott. And we're green. 3 wide into turn number 1. Chad Squires on the bottom. Here comes Michael Varnes. Here comes the 2T of Gerber. And now Varnes to the inside of Squires. Gerber to the inside of Squires. And Michael Varnes will lead lap number 1. Tim Scott now to the inside of the 26. He'll take over the 3rd spot. Barney Gerber all over the back of the 95 of Varnes. Tough break for Eddie McLean, breaking in hot laps earlier, the 443 truck. The 95 of Varnes sideways off of turn number 4. A little bit of contact from Barney Gerber. The 2T of Gerber, your fastest qualifier, to the outside of Varnes for the race lead. Halfway home. Good battle up front between Varnes and Gerber as they'll creep in on Ron Hoopengarner Jr. and Rick Brink. Barney Gerber going to swing around the outside, take over the race lead. 6 complete. Barney Gerber in the 2T. Michael Varnes in the 95. White flag in the air. Checkered flag for Barney Gerber. Michael Varnes finishes 2nd. Chad Squires will finish 3rd. Then the 57 of Rick Brink and the 68 of Ron Hoopengarner Jr. Pulling to the line, heat race winner for the Snap-on Tools by Doug Pool Mini Trucks. Pulling in an act tuning, Victory Lane from Sugar Creek, Ohio. In the RV Parts Express, Swiss Automart, Pied Piper Muffler and Tire, Boulevard Cleaners and Tuxedo Shop, B.D. Gerber Trucking, Bud and Tooties, Careless Vinyls, Poor White Trash Man Fabricating and Bad Stone Band sponsored. 2T is Barney Gerber. Alongside the 151 is Dan Bloom. The number 65 is Blake Miley from Sherrodsville, Ohio. The number 5 is Tabitha Stuber. Row number 3, the 62, is Caden Scott. The 75 is your fastest qualifier, Matt Miley. And the number 7 is Trevor King.
He drove it. That's Dan's car, him and I bought it together.
So the field
Hold on, guys. Here.
So the 7 actually starting on the pole, that is Trevor King, his first night of racing in that number 7. Then the 62T of Tyler Scott, the 151 of Bloom, the 65 of Blake Miley, the 5 of Tabitha Stuber, the 62 of Caden Scott. And out back, your fastest qualifier, the 75 new track record holder on the small oval is Matt Miley. Blake Miley, feature winner for the trophy stocks in week number 2, the last time they ran. Getting ready to go green, 8-lap heat race. Around the high side, Tyler Scott going to have the race lead. Here comes Blake Miley to second. Caden Scott up to third. Here comes the 65 of Blake Miley to the inside of Scott. Here comes the other Scott to take over second. Caden Scott to second. Tyler Scott back to third. Trevor King fourth. Tabitha Stuber in fifth. In 4 laps to go. Blake Miley still undefeated. He won the heat race and won the feature in week number 2 in this division. But Caden Scott moving in on the back of that number 65. Caden Scott all over the back of that number 65. Trying the crossover move. White flag for Blake Miley. Bloom lights up the tires going into the small oval turn 4, and now here comes Scott to the inside of Miley. Into the final corner. Caden Scott, Blake Miley, off turn number 4. Scott gonna win it. Tyler Scott will finish third. Then Trevor King, Tabitha Stuber, and Matt Miley, your fastest qualifier. Pulling to the line from Roswell, Ohio, in the number 62 machine, first time heat race winner. Put your hands together for Caden Scott. Is Eric Feaster. And your fastest qualifier subbing for Jeremy Salinger tonight is Kyle Finlayson in the 52. 8-lap heat race. Number 1 for the compacts is green. John, phone. As we got the 19 of Kopp to the infield, the 007 of Rufner to the infield, and caution on the speedway. Getting ready to go green, Eugene Kopp and the 64 of Leslie. Green flag in the air, 8-lap heat race for the Finlayson Towing Compacts. Leslie inches ahead into turn number 3. Kopp going to battle back on the bottom. Feaster and Custer still side by side for third. Now Leslie pulls ahead through 1 and 2. Eugene Kopp back to the second spot. He's got the 178 of Stephen Feaster to his outside. 3 wide into turn number 3. Stuber on the top. Kopp goes through the infield. Jamie Leslie, Stephen Feaster, Will Custer, DR3, your front four. Halfway home, 4 laps in, 4 to go. Race leader Jamie Leslie. Feaster to the outside of the race leader Leslie. Stephen Feaster still working that outside lane, trying to get around Leslie for the race lead. Good run into turn number 1. Stephen Feaster all the way alongside Leslie up the racetrack just a little bit. Into 3. White flag coming out this time. Stephen Feaster, your race leader. Feaster gets sideways. Here comes Leslie. Back on the bottom. Get your cameras ready. Photo finish. Nope, it's going to be Jamie Leslie. Stephen Feaster gets moved up the racetrack. Jamie Leslie going to win. Will Custer finishes in the second spot. Kyle Finlayson third. Eric Feaster fourth. Stephen Feaster rounding out the top 5. Pulling into neck tuning, Victory Lane from New Philadelphia, Ohio, and the Cronizer Small Engine and Repair and Service. Patabandala Dental, Medley Mowing, Leslie's Welding and Fabrication, Joe's Sideshow Garage, and Careless Vinyl, sponsored number 64. Put your hands together for Jamie Leslie. The 23 is Curtis Finlayson. The 27 is Billy Hilliker. The 00 is John Heidi. And the 71 is Cody Ditto. Getting ready to go. Green, Frederick, and Romig up front. Green flag in the air. Tim Frederick on the bottom will have the race lead into turn number 3, but here comes Romig battling back in the 69, subbing for Grandpa Dan Bucky tonight. And Romig going to have the bottom. He's going to take over the race lead. Frederick back to second. Ryan Alm and the 27 of Hilliker battle for the third spot. Here comes Ryan Alm looking to the outside of Frederick for second. Here comes the 27 of Hilliker now to the outside of Frederick for the second spot. Billy Hilliker to second. Romig still your race leader, halfway home, 4 and 4 to go. Ryan Alm looking for the third spot on the outside of Frederick. Frederick dropping back now. Curtis Finlayson to the outside of him for the fourth spot. Drew Romig still your race leader. Hilliker trying to close in. A white flag in the air for Drew Romig. Hilliker is there. Final time down the back straightaway. Into turn number 3. Romig, Hilliker. Off turn number 4, first time heat race winner Drew Romig. Billy Hilliker finishes second, Ryan Allman third. Then Curtis Finlayson, Tim Frederick, John Heidi, George Paul, and Cody Ditto. Pulling to the line, first time heat race winner from Dover, Ohio in the My Water Dr. Bucky Mowing and Snow Removal, sponsored number 69. Put your hands together for Drew Romig. From Yurksville, Ohio, alongside the 57 is Blaze Bacon from New Philadelphia. The number 4 is Andrea Brokaw. The 79 is Eric Brokaw, husband and wife, row number 2. The number 85 is Jonathan Weber. And the number 9 is Gavin Roop.
This is the last race before intermission, I think.
So final heat race for the Finlayson Towing Compacts. So failed start for the 64 of Dylan being warned on the radio that we start side by side in turn number 4. Dylan and Bacon on the front row. Getting ready to go green, the Brokaw family in row number 2. And green flag is in the air. Blaze Bacon will have the race lead, making some bacon out front. Dylan back to second. Here comes the 9 of Roop and the 79 of Brokaw. Gavin Roop having problems in his machine. Feature winner a few weeks ago. Picked up this ride from Chris Caldwell. Good show of sportsmanship by Caldwell, handing over the 96 that is now the 9 to Gavin Roop. Roop to the outside of the 64. Dylan, he'll take over the second spot. Now he's on the back bumper of the 57 of Bacon. Bacon going to slide high, and Gavin Roop going to have the race lead from the back. Gavin Roop, your race leader. Blaze Bacon in second. Drew Dillon third. Eric Brokaw fourth. Andrea Brokaw fifth. And the 85 of Weber. White flag for Gavin Roop. Good battle for second between Bacon and Dillon. As the race leader moves through turns 3 and 4. Checkered flag for the 9 of Gavin Roop. Blaze Bacon finishes second. Drew Dillon third. Eric Brokaw fourth. And his wife rounding out the top 5. So that wraps up heat races here at Midvale Speedway. Time to take a pause for the cause. Head down to the concession stand, get yourself something good to drink, something good to eat. Stop by the beverage barn, stop by the Pit Stop Shirt Shop on the first floor of the main scoring tower. Take a short intermission. Heat race number 3
Tell Coletti to tell me he's moving to.
from Barn Hill, Ohio. Put your hands together for Gavin Roop. .50 drawing is being taken place on the deck of the main scoring tower. Make sure you come up if you want to purchase 50-50 tickets. 50-50 ticket on the deck of the main scoring tower. As we get ready to go green for the Canton Addiction Trophy stock feature. Again, 50-50 being sold on the deck of the main scoring tower. Tyler Scott, Dan Bloom on the front row. Tabitha Stuber, Caden Scott, row 2. The Miley family in row 3. And Trevor King out back getting ready to go green. 12 lap Canton Addiction Trophy stock feature goes green. Scott going to have the race lead off of turn number 1. Bloom still there in the outside lane. Tabitha Stuber right there on the bottom in the number 5, looking to take over the second spot. Tyler Scott, your race leader. Tabitha Stuber in second. Dan Bloom third. Caden Scott running fourth. Tabitha Stuber all over the back of that 62 machine. Stuber to the outside of the 62 of Scott. Down the back straightaway. Here comes Tabitha Stuber to the outside of the 62 of Scott. Tabitha Stuber still trying that outside lane. She's just about got Tyler cleared. Tyler going to move up the racetrack. And now Caden's going to take the race lead. Caden Scott. As Tyler tried to throw the block on Stuber, Caden going to take the race lead. Caden Scott, your race leader. Tabitha Stuber in second. Tyler Scott third. Good battle between Bloom and Miley, and now contact between Bloom and Miley. Blake Miley going to take over the 4th spot. Nine laps complete this time for Caden Scott. Blake Miley to the outside of the 62 of Tyler Scott for the 3rd spot as Caden has checked out from Tabitha Stuber. White flag in the air for Caden Scott. Final time down the short back straightaway into turn 3 and 4. Checkered flag for Caden Scott. Tabitha Stuber finishes second. Blake Miley going to finish in the 3rd spot. And Tyler Scott in 4th. And Matt Miley in 5th.
You already paid for your ticket?
Pretty good trophy stock feature. Don't forget those 50-50 tickets up on the deck of the main scoring tower. Taking the victory lap, Caden Scott. First feature victory for the 62. Pulling into neck tuning, victory lane for the first time. First visit to neck tuning victory lane, first time in this car, first night out on the racetrack. For your Canton Addiction Trophy Stock feature winner, Caden Scott. Come on over here, bud. All right, so Tyler trying to go up and block Tabitha a little bit, and you said, I'm just going to hook the bottom.
Yeah.
Tell me about it, man. Was you like, hey, if you guys are going to block up there, I'm going to take the bottom and win?
Yeah, I know that my car's faster than Tyler's, so he went up and I just took the underneath and took the advantage that I got.
Yeah, so Dad gave you a favor then? Your car's faster?
Oh, yeah.
We'll call him out for favoritism then. Who you want to thank on this 62, man?
I want to thank Brian Fox, my dad, Dale Beatty, Danny Beatty, Brent Scott. That's it.
All right, congratulations. Welcome to Neck Tuning Victory Lane, man.
Thanks.
Your winner, Caden Scott. He is Barney Gerber. Row number 3, the 95 is Michael Varnes. The 68 is Ron Hoopengarner Jr. And the 78 is Josh Peebles. Field gets the one to go signal. Rick Brink, Chad Squires on the front row. Tim Scott, Barney Gerber, row 2. Michael Varnes, Ron Hoopengarner Jr., and Josh Peebles. Getting ready to go green, 12 laps, snap-on tools by Doug Poole, mini truck feature. Green flag is in the air. Scott gonna go 3 wide. Here comes Gerber. Scott gonna move into the second spot. They shuffle the 57 of Brink out. Now Squires and Scott contact. Here comes Scott up to the race lead. Here comes Michael Varnes in the 95 and the 2T of Gerber. Lap number 1 to Tim Scott. Oh, Tim Scott almost lost it in turn 1. Gathered it back up, maintaining the race lead. Varnes in second. Gerber third. Josh Peebles pulls pit side. It's a battle for second between Gerber and Varnes. Good battle up front, three-way battle for the race lead. Tim Scott, Michael Varnes, Barney Gerber. Six laps in, 6 to go. Tim Scott still hanging on to that race lead. Gerber looking to the high side on Tim Scott. Scott picked up a couple feature victories a season ago in this number 4 truck. Travels all the way up from Sunbury, Ohio. Barney Gerber. Several feature wins the last couple of years in the mini trucks. Trying to take over that race lead on the high side. Scott and Gerber. Gerber into turn number 1, goes up the racetrack just a little bit. 2 laps to go this time. Tim Scott, Barney Gerber, 2 to go. Barney Gerber into turn number 3. Contact between the 2 and 4, and now Varnes and Gerber. Contact. Barney Gerber closed the door on Tim Scott going into turn number 3. Scott got into the bumper of Gerber, spun him sideways through turns 3, and then Michael Varnes showed up, nowhere to go, in 68 and 57. So the race win between the 4 and the getting ready to go green. Scott, Squires. Green flag in the air. Tim Scott, Squires, your front 2 getting the white flag this time around. Rick Brink runs in the 3rd spot. Ron Hoopengarner Jr. in 4th. Off turn number 4. Tim Scott, your feature winner. Chad Squires finishes 2nd. The 68 of Ron Hoopengarner Jr. is actually a lap ahead of Rick Brink. So Hoopengarner will finish 3rd. Brink will finish 4th. So we had a good 3-way battle for the top spot. And then the front 2 got together, wiped out 1st and 3rd. Nonetheless, Tim Scott making another victory lap here at Midvale Speedway, 1st of the year. Pulling in an act tuning, Victory Lane. in the Scott Speed Shop, sponsored number 4. Getting the belts undone. Here he comes, your Snap-on Tools by Doug Pool Mini Truck feature winner, Tim Scott. Come on over here, my friend. Welcome back to Neck Tuning Victory Lane. First time this year. Been a little while for you.
Yeah, I think it was the first of last year that I was here. We had a lot of trouble tonight. I didn't think we was going to get it fixed, and thankfully, just before the feature, we figured out what the problem was, and obviously got her going.
Talk me through the turn 3 incident with Barney. I know he was on the outside. He kind of tried to come down to protect his lane. Just contact, really nowhere for you to go, right?
Yeah, he was up there, and I saw that truck there, and I had started to get on the brakes, and then he turned so hard that I couldn't get on the brakes hard enough to give him room to get in there, and he just touched the front end of me, and it was over. So I did not mean to wreck him, really.
No, absolutely. That's why I wanted you to give your explanation of what happened. It's, everybody sitting up here we can play armchair quarterback all day, but when you're in the driver's seat, it's a little bit different.
Yeah, he just came down so fast. I mean, when I race, I try not to touch anybody. I mean, sometimes I do, but it's unintentional for sure.
Who you want to thank on this for tonight?
That lovely lady right there who lets me come out here and do this and act a fool. My brother, he comes out and helps me every week. My dad, he helps me with the motor, and just basically my family. My girls, they come out here and help me too. So,
you got that other truck coming too?
I think they're putting the motor together today. That's why my dad's not here.
There you go. All right, another truck coming. Congratulations, buddy. Welcome back to Victory Lane.
Thank you.
Your winner, Tim Scott.
Thank you. Thank you for calling. Thank you very much. Okay? Thank you. Okay. Bye-bye.
Row number 3 with John Sanquest Jr. in the 99. Undefeated so far in 2020, the 18 is Brandon Short. The 69 is Bob the Animal Eichel. The 66 is John Sanquest Sr. The 09 is Austin Thiel from Allen Park, Michigan. The 07 is Josh Kemp. The 59 is Burgess White. And the 30 is Corey Herron. Andrew Smart on the flag stand, soon to be modified competitor here at Midvale Speedway, representing his dad's company, Neck Tuning. He'll throw the green flag here in just a few minutes. Field getting ready to go green. Looking for Andrew Smart's green flag off of turn number 4. Enos Jayberg. Green flag is in the air. .30-lap McIntosh Oil Company late model feature. Jayberg up the racetrack. Enos, your race leader, lap number 1. Mark Enos continues to lead. Tim Ice now to the inside of Jayberg as the two make contact. Caution on the speedway. Caution on the speedway, the 22 of Cody Jayberg. 2 laps complete, 28 to go. Mark Enos, Tim Ice in turn number 4. Green flag back in the air. Ice with a good restart. Tim Ice takes the race lead from Mark Enos. Here comes George Riddle to the outside of the 77. So it looks like an air cleaner or something come off the 99 of John Sanquest Jr. All kinds of debris on the back straightaway. Cody Jayberg made some contact with that at the back of the pack. Getting ready to go back to green, the 77 of Enos, the 65 of Ice. Green flag back in the air. Tim Ice going to have the race lead off of turn number 2. Enos back to the 2nd spot. George Riddle in the high lane. Bob Snyder Jr. on the bottom. Snyder and Riddle still side by side for 3rd. The 77 of Enos in 2nd. Brandon Short in 5th. Tim Ice, your race leader. Brandon Short looking to the outside of Snyder. George Riddle to 2nd as he gets around the 77 of Enos. Enos battling back on the bottom. Good battle for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th behind race leader Tim Ice. The 59 of Burgess White pulls pit side as George Riddle takes over that 2nd spot. Battle for 2nd between Brandon Short and George Riddle. George Riddle still in 2nd. Here comes Short. Brandon Short to the inside of the 0 of George Riddle for 2nd. Brandon Short to 2nd. Riddle back to 3rd. Bob Snyder Jr. now looking to take over 4th from Enos, and does. So now the question is, will Brandon Short be able to run down the legend, Tim Ice? Brandon Short on Tim Ice into turn number 3, halfway home, 15 laps in, 15 to go. Short all over the back of Ice. Here comes Short with a great run off of turn number 2 to the inside of Ice. Brandon Short, new race leader. Brandon Short working his way through lap traffic. The 65 of Tim Ice in second. The 0 of George Riddle in third. The 17 of Bob Snyder Jr. in fourth. Corey Herron pulls pit side in the number 30. 8 laps to go, this time for Brandon Short. Putting the 09 of Austin Thiel a lap down. Now setting his sights on 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. Brandon Short, your race leader by about 5 or 6 car lengths over Tim Ice. Bob Snyder Jr. up to the 3rd spot as he got around George Riddle. And now Tim Ice and Bob Snyder Jr. starting to reel in Brandon Short in the 18. Short going to catch traffic. The 66 of Sanquest Sr., the 77 of Enos, the 99 of Sanquest Jr., and the 22 of Jayberg. Bob Snyder Jr., Tim Ice side by side. Here comes Bob Snyder Jr. And George Riddle spins in turn 1. The 0 of Riddle, all on the lead lap, getting ready to go back to green flag racing. 4 laps to go. Short and Ice. Problems for Austin Thiel as he pulls pit side. Brandon Short, Tim Ice, and Bob Snyder Jr. White flag for Brandon Short. Into turn number 3, off of turn number 4, feature winner number 4, Brandon Short. Tim Ice finishes second, Bob Snyder Jr., John Sanquest Jr., Cody Jayberg, your top 5. Good race up front. Once Short got the race lead, then things got interesting when they hit that lap traffic. In the Hutter Race Engines, Direct Detail, Ernest Performance, All-Star Performance, Pick Now Racing Products, sponsored number 18 for 4 in a row.
How many more races?
Getting the belts undone, talking it over with his dad, Brian. We'll see what happens in the Gold Cup, the Ohio Gold Cup Championship next week. If Brandon Short is able to take that 50-lapper here at Midvale Speedway next week, should be a great field of late models. Again, working in partnership with Barberton Speedway, a 3-race cooperative effort between the two tracks for these late model divisions. Getting ready to climb out for the 4th week in a row. Into NAC Tuning, Victory Lane. Your McIntosh Oil Company late model feature winner, Brandon Short. Hey man, sounds like you're getting a little fan club over here going. What's up with that?
I wish. I don't think I have any fans out there.
They're right there. Does this kid have any fans here at Midvale Speedway? Just proved you wrong, bud.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you so much. Shout out to Iceman there. He was looking pretty sporty up there. Got the lead for a little bit.
And I'll tell you what, you had Ice right there. You had Snyder that was coming. When you hit that lap traffic, we kind of seen you back off a little bit, saying, hey, not sure what these guys are going to do. They're double file in front of you. You showed a lot of patience tonight.
Yeah, it was definitely getting sketchy over there. I don't know what was going on. I was just trying not to get wrecked. I kind of figured me backing off. I figured, they would reel me in a little bit. I don't know how close they were. I don't got any mirrors or nothing. But
well, Snyder was beside you when that caution came out.
He didn't win.
Who you want to thank tonight, brother?
Well, let's thank all the fans coming out here and supporting Midvale Speedway. Hopefully put on a decent show for you guys. Direct Detail, Hutter Racing Engines, All-Star Performance, Bicknell, just a lot of people on this car to make it happen.
Going to see you next week for the Gold Cup first leg.
Is that here?
That's here.
And we'll probably be here.
All right, we'll see you next week. Congratulations, bud.
Thank you.
NAC Tuning Victory Lane, your McIntosh Oil Company late model feature winner, Brandon Short. Nathan Smart on the flag stand. On behalf of NAC Tuning, getting ready to give the green flag next time around. Field will get the 1-to-go signal. Derek Gruhl, Zach Leisure on the front row. Nick Grubbs, Brandon France in row 2. Wes Ennis, Randy Gray, row 3. Philip Cox, Bob Page, row 4. Getting ready to go green. Nathan Smart, flag in hand. Field in turn number 4. Gruhl and Leisure. Green. Derek Gruhl has the race lead on the bottom. Here comes Nick Grubbs. Thought about a 3-wide move, thought better of it. Into turn number 3. Derek Gruhl on the bottom. Here comes Grubbs once again. Nick Grubbs all the way alongside. Gruhl going to lead lap number 1 by a nose. But here comes Nick Grubbs. Into turn number 3. Derek Gruhl back to the bottom. He is in second behind race leader Nick Grubbs. Wes Ennis up to the 3rd spot. Here comes Phil Cox up to 4th. Cox now to the inside of Ennis. Here comes the 09 of Philip Cox. Here comes the 331 of Mike Stone. Mike Stone to the inside of Ennis, and Cox takes over second from Gruhl. Caution on the speedway. Caution. Speeding ticket for the 24 of Nick Grubbs. Late qualifier. Last chance qualifying. 2 laps faster than his qualifying time. He goes to the tail. Getting ready to go back to green, Cox and Gruel. Green flag in the air. Derek Gruel up high, trying to hang on in that outside lane. Here comes Mike Stone on the bottom. Stoney going to take over the second spot rather, from Gruel, but Gruel hanging on in the outside lane. Phil Cox, your race leader. Stone can't quite clear Gruel. Mike Stone clears Derek Gruel. Kevin McClintock clears Derek Gruel. Braden Swaney trying to get to the inside of the 99 of Gruel. Derek Gruel doing a nice job, just stuck in that high lane. Gruel is almost sideways. He hangs on to it, but loses a few more spots. Philip Cox, your race leader, 8 laps complete. Mike Stone, Kevin McClintock in second and third. Mike Stone, Kevin McClintock starting to reel in Philip Cox just a little bit. Caution on the speedway. The 24, Nick Grubbs pulling pit side. He's got some issues on the right front of that machine. Derek Gruel has problems on his machine. Gruel pulling on the other side of the pit, so does Field on the back straightaway. 15 laps to go. Philip Cox, Mike Stone, Kevin McClintock, Braden Swaney, your front 4. Green flag in the air. Still side by side, Stone in the high lane, McClintock filling the bottom, and caution as Swaney gets spun in turn 4. Braden Swaney spins in turn 4, collecting Brandon France and the 29 of Dan Gosser. Green flag in the air, Philip Cox and Mike Stone. Philip Cox clears Mike Stone. Here comes Kevin McClintock for second. Stone stuck in the outside lane, going to give up second to McClintock. Philip Cox, Kevin McClintock, Mike Stone, Bob Page, Brandon Bailey, your front 5. Halfway home, 13 in, 12 to go. Philip Cox and McClintock. McClintock all over the back of Philip Cox. Almost there was McClintock. Had a good run off at turn number 2. McClintock all over the back of Cox in the 09. Kevin McClintock, the old veteran, trying to get around Philip Cox for the race lead. The front two have pulled away from Mike Stone just a little bit. 5 laps to go. Laps to go this time around. Philip Cox doing a whale of a job up front, holding off Kevin McClintock. 2 to go. White flag for Philip Cox. Into turn number 3. Philip Cox, Kevin McClintock off at turn number 4. Phil Cox wins race number 2. McClintock finishes second. Mike Stone in third. Bob Cooge fourth. Brandon Bailey rounding out your top 5. Pretty good. Van Meter Auto Repair modified feature. Just a little dust up down there in turn number 4. Put us under the red for a little bit. Philip Cox, race win number 2 of 2020. Pulling into that tuning, victory lane for the second time in 2020. In the Swan Racing Fabrications Ohio Billing, sponsored 09. New Philly barbell also on this 09 of Philip Cox. Going to get another feature winning sticker for this 09 machine. Beautiful paint scheme this year. Climbing out, your Van Meter Auto Repair modified winner, Philip Cox. Come on over here, man. I'll tell you what. Last week, Firecracker 150, you got a lot of damage on this thing. You had a long week ahead of you.
Yeah, it started since we got home, and I don't think it ended till today.
Well, was it all worth it?
Yeah. I mean, we broke the frame and stuff like that. We got as straight as we could, and it's pretty good.
So the top 2 cars tonight both have bent frames.
Pretty much, yeah.
I'll tell you what, Kevin McClintock was trying everything he could to get you to mess up, and you didn't mess up.
Yeah, I felt him back there a couple times. He gave me a little bump, let me know he was there. But, hey, it was all good racing and nothing crazy, and it was a good win.
Absolutely, it was a good win. Who do you want to thank on this 09 tonight, brother?
I got to thank my wife, first of all.
I heard that.
Ohio Billing Swan, New Philly Barbell, my father-in-law, brother-in-law, and I got to thank George Riddle. That guy, I got parts on this car of his, and I just got to thank the Riddle family for all the help that they do for us.
Congratulations, buddy. Win number 2 on the season.
Thank you.
Your winner, Philip Cox. pole, the 75 is Ron Dagg. The 28 is Frank Boyce. The grocery getter, 67 is Honky John Tannerelli. The 55 is Robbie Kordiak. The number 3 is Kyle Grove. The 22 is Kylie Wood. And then we Rector. The 118 is Colt Locker. Problems for the 75 of Ron Dagg, supposed to start on the pole. Looks like his car might be dead in the water in turn 2. Interesting. Problems for Ron Dagg in the 75. Hunter Edwards going to be on the flag stand representing, and the 22 of Kyle Rector in row 3. The 118 of Colt Locker, the 88 is Dennis Wood, your fastest qualifier. Then the 44 Brandon, the 13 of Kenny Feaster Jr., the 64 is Ian Porco, the 7 is Gabe Pringle, and the 54 is Chase Berkey. Good to see Chase Berkey and that team get his machine back together after that accident in the heat race a little bit earlier. "20-lap street stock feature for the Snap-on Tools by Doug Pool Street Stocks. 20 laps they'll go. Field get the one to go signal. Getting ready to go, green flag racing, Boyce and Tannerelli. Green flag in the air. Kordiak trying to get to the bottom of Tannerelli off at turn number 2. Little bit of contact there. Tannerelli going to close the door on Kordiak, opens up the top for the 3 of Kyle Grove. Frank Boyce out front. Here comes Grove to the outside of Tannerelli for second. Kyle Grove still to the outside of John Tannerelli for the second spot. Frank Boyce, your race leader. Kordiak running in the 4th spot. Then Kylie Wood, Kyle Rector, the 118 of Colt Locker, the 88 of Dennis Wood. Kyle Grove almost clear of Tannerelli, but here comes John back on the bottom. Great battle for second between Grove and Tannerelli. Dennis Wood on the march in the high lane. He's to the outside of his daughter for 5th. Dennis Wood, Kylie Wood, side by side for the 5th spot. Dennis Wood to the inside of Robbie Kordiak for the 4th spot. Grove still trying to get around Tannerelli. Those two have been side by side since lap number 1. Halfway home, 10 laps in, 10 to go. Frank Boyce up front by about a half a straightaway over that second place battle between Tannerelli, Grove, and Wood. Five laps to go for Frank Boyce, looking for his first feature win. And Colt Locker almost hits the wall, and now they get into it with the 55 of Kordiak. Kordiak and Locker got together, and now Grove squirts out into the 2nd spot. Here comes Dennis Wood for 3rd to the inside of Tannerelli. Here comes Wood to the inside of Kyle Grove for 2nd. Does he have enough time to run down Frank Boyce? Caution on the speedway. Getting ready to go back to green. 16 laps complete. Boyce and Grove, and we're not going to have a start on this one. So we'll try it again. Frank Boyce looking for that first career feature win. Little jittery. Kyle Grove hasn't won in over a year. He's looking for a win. Dennis Wood, undefeated in regular nights here at Midvale Speedway. He's got 2 of the 3 feature wins so far this season. Heading into turn number 3, Boyce and Grove. Wood, Tannerelli, Locker, Wood. 4 laps to settle it. Green flag is in the air. Here comes Dennis Wood to the inside of Grove. Grove falling back into 3. Boyce, still your race leader in the 88. Here comes the 88 of Wood to the grass to get around Boyce. Dennis Wood all over the back of the 28 of Boyce, and now Wood going to go to the bottom. Here comes Dennis Wood to the bottom of Frank Boyce. Into turn number 3. Wood, white flag in the air. Good battle as Colt Locker moves up to the 3rd spot. Now him and Tannerelli get together in turn number 1, but Locker going to move up to 3rd. Final time through 3 and 4. Your winner, Dennis Wood. Boyce finishes second, Walker third, Tannerelli fourth, and Kyle Rector in fifth. Dennis Wood, your fastest qualifier, started back in the 8th position, I believe. Got boxed in behind Grove and Tannerelli. Then the caution comes out. Frank Boyce did everything he could to keep that 88 behind him. But Dennis Wood, back to neck tuning victory lane for a third time in 2020. In the nephew's painting, UFO, Lee's Famous Recipe, Canton Auto Salvage, Automotive Electric, sponsored number 88. Here's your winner, D. Wood. Come on over here, buddy. All right, talk me through this one. Well, I'll tell you what, Grove could not get around Tannerelli, and that had you in a bad spot till that caution came out.
Yeah, I didn't think I was going to get there. Frankie really checked out, and oh no, he was a little out of control up there, put me through the grass. And,
No.
but I wouldn't expect anything else out of Frankie, so.
Hey, Frank the Tank was making that thing wide as he could, trying to pick up that first feature win. You can't blame him for that one.
Yeah, I have to make him earn it, so I couldn't let him have that.
I wouldn't have either. Now, if it was Kylie, I would have maybe expected something different.
I might have got loose or something and finished second.
Congratulations, man. Who do you want to thank on this 88?
Nephew's Painting, UFO, Canton Auto Salvage, Phoenix Auto Repair, Automotive Electric, Lee's Chicken, ArborFast, it's a new sponsor, Fishing Ventures, and all my crew. Robbie's not here tonight. He had a wedding to go to. He's grounded, so.
Congratulations, buddy. Win number 3.
All right, thanks for all the fans coming out.
Congratulations, your winner in neck tuning victory lane, D. Wood for the 3rd time. Zero is John Heidi. The 64 is Jamie Leslie. The number 7 is Will Custer. The 178 is Stephen Feaster. The 007 is Don Rufner III. The 44, Mike Stuber. The 78 of Eric Feaster. The fastest qualifier, Kyle Finlayson. We got the 9 of Gavin Roop. The 24 of Brent Schreffler. And the 19 of Eugene Kopp in the green. Brent Schreffler broke in qualifying, never did get a lap, so he starts behind the fastest qualifier, and he's on the move. 3 wide into turn 3. Schreffler in the 3rd groove. George Paul slips up a little bit. There is the 53 of Finlayson out front. Curtis Finlayson, your race leader. Schreffler now getting shuffled back in that 3 wide deal. They're still 3 wide, 2 rows deep. Oh, and the 77 of George Paul spins Billy Hilliker to the infield. Stephen Feaster and Mike Stuber, the front 6. Don Rufner the third right there in the 7th spot. John Heidi in 8th. Stephen Feaster, Kyle Finlayson rounding out the top 10. Keep your eyes on some of those cars towards the back of the field. They're going to be wanting to move towards the front. Finlayson, Hilliker, green flag in the air. Billy Hilliker clears Curtis Finlayson into turn number 1, and he'll have the race lead as here comes Will Custer, the general on the outside, looking for the race lead on Billy Hilliker. Will Custer to the race lead. Hilliker back to second. Here comes Mike Stuber. Picked up a couple of feature victories last season in that 44. Problems for the 19 of Eugene Kopp Jr. as he pulls to the infield, having some mechanical issues all night long in the 19. Will Custer, your race leader. Billy Hilliker hanging on to second. Here comes Stuber. Mike Stuber to the outside of Billy Hilliker for second. Jamie Leslie right there in the 64. Stuber unable to get around Hilliker. The 27 doing a nice job in that second spot. Eric Feaster in the 78. He's moved up in there with DR3. And now Leslie going to try and go 3 wide. Jamie Leslie to the inside of Hilliker. They tried the 3 wide move. Leslie started to get impatient as we pass the halfway mark. 8 in, 7 to go. Leslie now clear of Hilliker, but Will Custer way out in front. Oh, Hilliker and Feaster, contact. First feature win. Jamie Leslie hasn't visited victory lane in quite some time. Won a couple a season ago. DR3 hasn't been to victory lane in a while. Getting ready to go green, Custer and Leslie. Jamie Leslie has the race lead. Off of turn number 2. Will Custer back to second. DR3 and Stuber battle for the 3rd spot. DR3 way up the racetrack. Leslie, Custer, Stuber, Feaster, and problems for the 24 Schruffler. Brent Schruffler to the infield. 3 to go, this time for Jamie Leslie. White flag gonna come out for Jamie Leslie and Will Custer. Final time, Leslie, Custer, off of 4. The 178 of Feaster takes over the third spot from Stuber. Custer going to try the outside of Jamie Leslie. Off turn number 4, checkered flag for Jamie Leslie. Will Custer finishes second, Stephen Feaster third, Mike Stuber fourth, and DR3, Don Rufner the third, finishing fifth. Pulling into victory lane for the first time in 2020, Jamie Leslie. Into victory lane in the Chronizers small engine repair and service, Careless Vinyls, Leslie Welding and Fabrication, Joe Sideshow Garage, Medley Mowing, sponsored number 64. For the first time in the fast feature, your winner, Jamie Leslie. Go on over here, ma'am. First fast feature win here at Midvale Speedway. How's it feel, man? Took you a while.
Yeah, it feels pretty good. We've had a lot of problems with this car, the last couple of years, and we've been slowly fighting, and finally, it's coming around now.
Who you want to thank on the 64 tonight, my friend?
Well, my biggest thanks, I got to thank my wife, Brandy, Tim, all the Olivers tonight. They kind of helped me out, a little bit with a little bit of a setup. I've got to thank Chronizers Small Engine Repair, Careless Vinyls, Leslie's Fab, Joe's Sideshow Garage, Medley Mowing, and Patty Banlin Dental. Without those guys, we wouldn't be here.
Congratulations, buddy. Welcome to NAC Tuning Victory Lane.
Thank you.
Your winner, Jamie Leslie. Alongside the 57 is Blaze Bacon, the 71 is Cody Ditto, the 18 is Tim Frederick, the 69 is Drew Romick, the 6R is Ryan Alm, the 4 is Andrea Brokaw, the 85 is Jonathan Weber. 15-lap final feature. Tuning is green. Blaze Bacon, 3 wide into turn number 1. Problems for Dylan as he gets on the bottom. Here comes Cody Ditto. Ditto to the bottom, looking to take the race lead. Dylan going to close the door. 3 wide in turn 3. Here comes Tim Frederick. Frederick going to go to the front. Tim Frederick, your race leader. Tim Frederick, your race leader. Blaze Bacon in second. Drew Dillon third. Actually, that is Ryan Alm in second. Drew Dillon in third. Bacon back to the 4 spot as he battles with Romig and the 71 at Ditto. to the bottom of Tim Frederick. Ryan Alm, new race leader in the 6R, coming to the halfway point. This time around, good battle for third between Dylan, Ditto, and Romig. 8 laps complete. This time around, Ryan Alm, your race leader. Problems for Tim Frederick as he pulls to the infield out of the second position. Ryan Alm with a half lap lead over the field. The 4 of Andrea Brokaw pulls off the 6R of Ryan Alm with about 3/4 of a lap lead. Good battle for second between Drew Dillon and Drew Romick. Blaze Bacon and the 71 of Ditto. White flag for Ryan Alm. Into turn number 3 for the final time, off turn number 4. Checkered flag for Ryan Alm. We'll keep an eye on that second place battle between Drew Dillon and Drew Romig. Into turn number 3. Dillon has it. Romig in third. Checkered flag. Dillon going to finish second. Romig third. Bacon fourth. And Ditto in fifth. So once again, thank you to everybody for coming out to week number 4 here at Midvale Speedway. Thank you to NAC Tuning for sponsoring tonight's events and our victory lane. Hope everybody will come back next Saturday night for Christmas and July night. Bicycle giveaway, a lot of prizes for the fans. And of course, the first leg of the Ohio Gold Cup Championship between Midvale Speedway and Barberton Late Models 50-lap feature. All 6 divisions in action, all brought to you by Federated Auto Parts. Ryan Alm in victory lane. In the long fastener, B&S Motorsports, sponsored number 6R.
Bye, guys. Be careful. See ya.
Getting ready to climb out. Fans heckling him, saying that it's a good thing his sister didn't show up tonight. But that's all right. He picks up the win. Getting ready to climb out. Sooner or later. Come on, man. You're just a youngster. You got to get out of there quicker than that. Here he comes, your winner of the second compact feature, Ryan Alm.
Oh, there she goes.
Well, guess what, buddy? You won by 3/4 of a lap. Now you got to start in the A feature next week.
That's okay, I guess.
That's okay, you guess. This thing was a rocket once you got out front, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty fast. Thought I was gonna get black flag, honestly.
Yeah, you never ran under your time. You just didn't. So, hey, you take it how you can get them, right? Who you want to thank on the 6R tonight?
I'd like to thank my grandpa especially. He does all the work. Everyone that came out to watch me, and my sponsors, Runner Tool and I. That's pretty much it.
Congratulations, buddy. Welcome back to Victory Lane.
Thank you.
Your second feature winner, Ryan Alm.
Oh, yeah, don't talk about Dad.
All right, remember, 25 mile an hour in Midvale. We'll see you back here next week.
Yeah. Yeah, next time. No demo. Last time I got probably going to send a prayer and that shack with sticks on it.
Yeah, it's a fucking bullshit.
Running into the...
Yeah, but I prayed over there. I didn't pray. Last time I prayed over here, yes, you broke down. Yeah, yes. I was thinking that. Yes, when I was over here, yeah, the last time you broke down, yeah, I was praying then over here.